When we want to target a network, we want to find an efficient tool to help us.
I don't know who any of these niggas are. Kimber.
When we want to target a network, we want to find an efficient tool to help us handle repetitive tasks and answer the following questions. Which systems are up? What services are running on these systems? The tool that we will rely on is Nmap. The first question about finding live computers is answered in this room. This room is the first in a series of 4 rooms dedicated to Nmap. The second question about discovering running services is answered in the next Nmap rooms that focus on port scanning. This room is the first of 4 in this Nmap series. These 4 rooms are also part of the network security module. Nmap Live Host Discovery, Nmap Basic Port Scans, Nmap Advanced Port Scans, Nmap Post Port Scans. This room explains the steps that Nmap carries out to discover the systems that are online before port scanning. This stage is crucial because trying to port scan offline systems will only waste time and create unnecessary noise on the network. We present the different approaches that Nmap uses to discover live hosts. In particular, we cover ARP scan. This scan uses ARP requests to discover live hosts. ICMP scan. This scan uses ICMP requests to identify live hosts. TCP/UDP ping scan. This scan sends packets to TCP ports and UDP ports to determine live hosts.
I thought it does
We
that.
also introduce 2 scanners, ARP scan and MASCAN, and explain how they overlap with part of Nmap's host discovery. As already mentioned, starting with this room, we will use Nmap to discover systems and services actively. Nmap was created by Gordon Lyon, Fyodor, a network security expert and open source programmer. It was released in 1997. Nmap, short for Network Mapper, is free, open source software released under GPL license. Nmap is an industry standard tool for mapping networks, identifying live hosts, and discovering running services. Nmap's scripting engine can further extend its functionality, from fingerprinting services to exploiting vulnerabilities. Nmap scan usually goes through the steps shown in the figure below, although many are optional and depend on the command line arguments you provide.
I'm tired. I'm like, what the fuck? Nope. The stream's bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. It's because of fucking Twitch. If we do any higher, Twitch will go black. It's crazy. What is the maximum bit rate allowed for Twitch? I think it's like 10K or some shit, isn't it? Or is it, ooh.
Did you know that you could stream past Twitch's recommended bitrate? This trick has actually been around for a few years. For reference, Twitch suggests a maximum bitrate of 6,000 kilobytes per second, or 1080p, 60 FPS. However, you can squeeze in a higher quality stream. In OBS, go to File, Settings.
Already did that.
Under the Stream tab, you'll want to click,
Any more and it
did
goes
you know
black.
that you could stream past Twitch's recommended bitrate, then kilobytes per second experience will deteriorate. Click Apply, and then OK.
I don't know, I wish I could go higher than that.
Let's review a couple of terms.
That's a water.
Let's review a couple of terms before we move on to the main tasks. A network segment is a group of computers connected using a shared medium. For instance, the medium can be the Ethernet switch or a Wi-Fi access point. In an IP network, a subnetwork is usually the equivalent of one or more network segments connected together and configured to use the same router. The network segment refers to a physical connection, while a subnetwork refers to a logical connection. In the following network diagram, we have 4 network segments or subnetworks. Generally speaking, your system would be connected to one of these network segments. Subnetworks. A subnetwork, or simply a subnet, has its own IP address range and is connected to a more extensive network via a router. There might be a firewall enforcing security policies depending on each network.
Different subnets.
The figure above shows 2 types of subnets. Subnets with /16, which means that the subnet mask can be written as 255.255.0.0. This subnet can have around 65,000 hosts. Subnet with /24, which indicates that the subnet mask can be expressed as 255.255.255.0. This subnet can have a
No, that's combined. No, supernet, that's combining.
You might want to refer to Task 2 in the Intro to LAN room if you need to learn more about subnetting. As part of active reconnaissance, we want to discover more information about a group of hosts or about a subnet. If you are connected to the same subnet, you would expect your scanner to rely on ARP, Address Resolution Protocol, queries to discover live hosts. An ARP query aims to get the hardware address, MAC address, so that communication over the link layer becomes possible. However, we can
It's layer 3 to MAC address.
use this to infer that the host is online. We revisit link layer in task 4. If you are in network A, you can use ARP only to discover the devices within that subnet 10.1.100.024.
Yeah.
Suppose you are connected to a subnet different from the subnet of the target systems. In that case, all packets generated by your scanner will be routed via the default gateway router to reach the systems on another subnet. However, the ARP queries won't be routed and hence cannot cross the subnet router. ARP is a link layer protocol, and ARP packets are bound to their subnet. Click on the View Site button to start the network simulator. We will use this simulator to answer the questions in tasks 2, 4, and 5.
There's no way it can go there. It's a different network. Oh, 4. Well, yeah, of course I can see that. Test. Let's say test 2, 4, and 5. Oh.
We mentioned the different techniques we can use for scanning in task 1. Before we explain each in detail and put it into use against a live target, we need to specify the targets we want to scan. Generally speaking, you can provide a list, a range, or a subnet. Examples of target specification are list, machine. I don't know a list. I don't know. You can also provide a file as input for your list of targets. Nmap list _of _hosts.txt. If you want to check the list of hosts that Nmap will scan, you can use Nmap SO targets. This option will give you a detailed list of the hosts that Nmap will scan without scanning them. However, Nmap will attempt a reverse DNS resolution on all the targets to obtain their names. Names might reveal various information to the pentester. If you don't want Nmap to the DNS server, you can add an launch the attack box using the Start Attack Box button. Open the terminal when the attack box is ready, and use Nmap to answer the following.
What's SL? Doesn't tell me anything about that. God, it's too much. Okay. Oh. My evil plan worked.
Let's revisit the TCP/IP layer shown in the figure next. We will leverage the protocols to discover the live hosts. Starting from bottom to top, we can use ARP from link layer, ICMP from network layer, TCP from transport layer, UDP from transport layer. Before we discuss how scanners can use each in detail, we will briefly review these four protocols. ARP has one purpose: sending a frame to the broadcast address on the network segment and asking the computer with a specific IP address to respond by providing its MAC hardware address. ICMP has many types. ICMP ping uses type 8 echo and type 0 echo reply. If you want to ping a system on the same subnet, an ARP query should precede the ICMP echo. Although TCP and UDP are transport layers, for network scanning purposes, a scanner can send a specially crafted packet to common TCP or UDP ports to check whether the target will respond. This method is efficient, especially when ICMP echo is blocked. If you have closed the network simulator,
the switch. Motherfucker, it closed. It really closed. God. Alright.
How would you know which hosts are up and running? It is essential to avoid wasting our time port scanning an offline host or an IP address not in use. There are various ways to discover online hosts. When no host discovery options are provided, Nmap follows the following approaches to discover live hosts. When a privileged user tries to scan targets on a local network, Ethernet, Nmap uses ARP requests. A privileged user is root or a user who belongs to subdoers and can run sudo. When a privileged user tries to scan targets outside the local network, Nmap uses ICMP echo requests, TCP-ACK, acknowledge, to port 80, TCP-SYN, synchronize, to port 443, and ICMP timestamp request. When an unprivileged user tries to Nmap, by default, uses a ping scan to find live hosts, then proceeds to scan live hosts only. If you want to use Nmap to discover online hosts without port scanning the live systems, you can issue Nmap SN targets. Let's dig deeper to gain a solid understanding of the different techniques used. AR
Nmap SN. Let's go back to that. Man, why don't...
Nmap, by default, uses a ping scan to find live hosts, then proceeds to scan live hosts only. If you want to use Nmap to discover online hosts without port scanning the live systems, you can issue Nmap SN targets. Let's dig deeper to gain a solid understanding of the different techniques used. ARP scan is possible only if you are on the same subnet as the target systems. On an Ethernet 802.3 and Wi-Fi 802.11, you need to know the MAC address of any system before you can communicate with it. The MAC address is necessary for the link layer header. The header contains the source.
Because it works. I didn't know that nothing was wrong.
ARP scan is possible only if you are on the same subnet as the target systems. On an Ethernet 802.3 and Wi-Fi 802.11, you need to know the MAC address of any system before you can communicate with it. The MAC address is necessary for the link layer header. The header contains the source MAC address and the destination MAC address among other fields. To get the MAC address, the OS sends an ARP query. A host that replies to ARP queries is up. The ARP query only works if the target is on the same subnet as yourself, i.e.
See, every time I try it, it doesn't work for me. No, come on. Like, I have way more devices than 2. So it's telling me there's only 3 devices or 2 devices. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 3 just right here. What IP is this? 155.1. It's not even on here. You know, even if like PCs, well, I guess they won't respond to it. So I'm trying to tell me there's only 3. You're tell me there's only his TV's on, this TV's on. I don't understand. What IP is my phone? Oh, the fuck's my phone? How come I don't tell me what my IP is? 248. See, that's not on there. Why don't ARP work?
You need to know the MAC address of any system before you can communicate with it. The MAC address is necessary for the link layer header. The header contains the source MAC address and the destination MAC address among other fields. To get the MAC address, the OS sends an ARP query. A host that replies to ARP queries is up. The ARP query only works if the target is on the same subnet as yourself, i.e., on the same Ethernet, Wi-Fi. You should expect to see many ARP queries generated during an Nmap scan of a local network. If you want Nmap only to perform an ARP scan without port scanning, you can use Nmap PRSN targets, where PR indicates that you only want an ARP scan. The following example shows Nmap using ARP for host discovery without any port scanning. We run Nmap PRSN machine _IP/24 to discover all the live systems on the same subnet as our target machine.
It's PR. So we do SN and PR? Machine IP.
In this case, the attack box had the IP address.
Oh, sudo m. I can't even do that.
In this case, the attack box had the IP address 10.10.2.10.6, and it used ARP requests to discover the live hosts on the same subnet. ARP scan works, as shown in the figure below. Nmap sends ARP requests to all the target computers, and those online should send an ARP reply back.
So tell me, these are people that are on. So if I know this correctly. Oh, they fixed it. They used to give you the address. That was a vulnerability forever in their own system.
If we look at the packets generated using a tool such as Dump or Wireshark, we will see network traffic similar to the figure below. In the figure, if we look at the packets generated using a tool such as Dump or Wireshark, we will see network traffic similar to the figure below. In the figure below, Wireshark displays the source MAC address, destination MAC address, protocol, and query related to each ARP request. The source address is the MAC address of our attack box, while the destination is the broadcast address, as we don't know the MAC address of the target. However, we see the target's IP address, which appears in the
I'm not thinking about it.
In the figure below, Wireshark displays the source MAC address, destination MAC address, protocol, and query related to each ARP request. The source address is the MAC address of our attack box, while the destination is the broadcast address, as we don't know the MAC address of the target. However, we see the target's IP address, which appears in the info column. In the figure, we can see that we are requesting the MAC addresses of all the IP addresses on the subnet, starting with 10.10.2.10.1. The host with the IP address we are asking about will send an ARP reply with its MAC address, and that's how we will know that it is online.
I thought it only tell you. I thought it'll only respond if it's online, anyways. Okay. Thanks, homie. Oh. Let's see. It's Nmap. Okay. What's my IP? I don't see. So why is it? So really, there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But why is it not giving me my phone? It's still not popping up my phone. 248. My phone's still not popping up. I know my phone's connected. Girl, stop. I don't get it. I don't get why it doesn't pop up my phone. But if I do, that pops up all my devices. She must be getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated too. Why it's pissing me off. Still not popping up. Come on.
Talking about ARP scans, we should mention a scanner built around ARP queries, ARP Scan. It provides many options to customize your scan. Visit the ARP Scan wiki for detailed information. One popular choice is ARP Scan LocalNet or simply ARP Scan Now. This command will send ARP queries to all valid IP addresses on your local networks. More
Networks. He's playing Battlefield 6. I should hop on it.
Moreover, if your system has more than one interface and you are interested in discovering the live hosts on one of them, you can specify the interface using I. For instance, sudo arp scan is0l will send ARP queries for all valid IP addresses on the F0 interface. Note that arp scan is not installed on the attack box. However, it can be installed using apt install arp scan. In the example below, we scanned the subnet of the attack box using arp scan attack box _IP/24. Since we ran the scan at a time frame close to the previous one Nmap PRSN attack box _IP/24, we obtained the same 3 live targets.
3 live targets. I might play some Battlefield. Baby. I'm getting shit.
Similarly, the command arp scan will generate many ARP queries that we can see using dump, Wireshark, or a similar tool. We can notice that the packet capture for arp scan and Nmap PRSN yields similar traffic patterns. Below is the Wireshark output.
Yeah, it's ARPing regardless. I'm not gonna be able to see any of these. So just 3. One, two, three. No.
We can ping every IP address on the target network and see who would respond to our ping. ICMP type 8/echo, requests with a ping reply. ICMP type 0. Simple, isn't it? Although this would be the most straightforward approach, it is not always reliable. Many firewalls block ICMP echo. New versions of MS Windows are configured with a host firewall that blocks ICMP echo requests by default. Remember that an ARP query will precede the ICMP request if your target is on the same subnet. To use ICMP echo request to discover live hosts, add the option pay. Remember to add SN if you don't want to follow that with a port scan, as shown in the following figure. An ICMP echo scan works by sending an ICMP echo request and expects the target to reply with an ICMP echo reply if it is online.
I'll scan each computer, see which port is open on the computer. Fuck it, let's do port scan. It's gonna take a minute. There's PE in this motherfucker. No, I ain't checked in a minute. What the fuck? Yeah, she never did leave me a review. Still ain't. Why is it not finding my phone? Talking about ports are open on. That's not my IP though. You fucking useless. This one. I think there's like cameras. Why is NetBios? I don't know that was even open. The net BIOS shouldn't be open. That's crazy. Where the fuck did it go? Made a rule and it disappeared. Well, let me change the goddamn firewall rules. I'm not liking it. I have no control over it. How do I add the rule? What the fuck? How the fuck do I add this goddamn rule? Okay. You don't let me put the port or nothing in it. It's not doing nothing. How do I put the port I want it to block? It's fucking useless. I'm gonna see her forever and never gonna figure this out. You just put a name in it. That's all. That's all I want you to do. You can't fucking put a port or anything. Fucking useless, man. How do I add a rule? Can you not search for it? I just fucking saved it to my desktop. WFW. It's starting to piss me off. Sure ain't doing nothing. Why is it not scanning a goddamn thing? It was fucking working, but it ain't doing shit now. I don't know. I'm fucking over it. Why is Nmap not fucking giving me nothing? It's still wide open. Fuck, that was so hard to find. No matter what, it keeps saying it's not blocked. Whatever. It's not. It keeps saying it's not fucking blocked. Alright. I don't know why that port's doing. Anyways, fuck it. Fuck.
In the example below, we scanned the target's subnet using Nmap PSN machine _IP/24. This scan will send ICMP echo packets to every IP address on the subnet. Again, we expect live hosts to reply. However, it is wise to remember that many firewalls block ICMP. The output below shows the result of scanning the virtual machine's class C subnet using sudo nmap psn machine _IP/24 from the attack box.
Penis.
The scan output shows that 8 hosts are up. Moreover, it shows their MAC addresses. Generally speaking, we don't expect to learn the MAC addresses of the targets unless they are on the same subnet as our system. The output above indicates that Nmap didn't need to send ICMP packets as it confirmed that these hosts are up based on the ARP responses it received. We will repeat the scan above. However, this time, we will scan from a system that belongs to a different subnet. The results are similar but without the MAC addresses.
Tired, man.
The scan output shows that 8 hosts are up. Moreover, it shows their MAC addresses. Generally speaking, We don't expect to learn the MAC addresses of the targets unless they are on the same subnet as our system. The output above indicates that Nmap didn't need to send ICMP packets as it confirmed that these hosts are up based on the ARP responses it received. We will repeat the scan above. However, this time, we will scan from a system that belongs to a different subnet. The results are similar but without the MAC addresses.
Let's ask the AI. Let's block that too. Why is it not fucking... It's still telling me these ports are open. We're about to restart it. It still shows it's open. Well, we'll see if it changes after 5. Let's just finish this lesson. Different subnet. It's the same fucking thing.
If you look at the network packets using a tool like Wireshark, you will see something similar to the image below. You can see that we have one source IP address on a different subnet than that of the destination subnet, sending ICMP echo requests to all the IP addresses in the target subnet to see which one will reply. Because ICMP echo requests tend to be blocked, you might also consider ICMP timestamp or ICMP address mask requests to tell if a system is online. Nmap uses timestamp request, ICMP type 13, and checks whether it will get a timestamp reply, ICMP type 14. Adding the PP option tells Nmap to use ICMP timestamp requests. As shown in the figure below, you expect live host to reply.
Same results every time. Where the fuck's the timestamp? I'm not understanding. Oh.
Similarly, Nmap uses address mask queries, ICMP type 17, and checks whether it gets an address mask reply, ICMP type 18. This scan can be enabled with the option PM. As shown in the figure below, live hosts are expected to reply to ICMP address mask requests. In an attempt to discover live hosts using ICMP address mask queries, we run the command nmap pmsn machine_ip/24. Although, based on earlier scans, we know that at least 8 hosts are up, this scan returned none. The reason is that the target system or a firewall on the route is blocking this type of ICMP packet. Therefore, it is essential to learn multiple approaches to achieve the same result. If one type of packet is being blocked, we can always choose another to discover the target network and services.
So instead of just echo request. Huh. PE, ain't it? PP. I'm done. We'll do the rest tomorrow. Fuck. Yeah, we'll do the rest tomorrow. Fuck. Oh, I was about to run some Battlefield. This shit was hard, man. I found some open ports on my shit and I got it blocked, but it didn't take effect. I think I have to restart for it to take effect. I didn't realize these ports were open. So if someone had my IP address, fuck. I'm fucked, man. I didn't know these ports were wide fucking open. You know? I don't know. I want to play some Battlefield. Oh, yeah. Well, it's blocked now, so I mean, it's blocked now. I already had those rules. Got it right there. Got them blocked right there. Did I go up at all? Did I go up? Still only in the top 2%. Out of 6 million people, I'm only in the top 2%. It's fucking 22,000 is my rank. It's driving me nuts. What's this guy? He's ranked. Damn, 8,000. He's in the top 1%. This guy is ranked 1,829,000. Well, I'm gonna play some Battlefield. Well, let's see what's
I haven't figured out how to switch the mic yet, but it's got to be cool.
So you trying to play? Let's see what Sosa trying to play. I seen he was online earlier. You know? Well, how the hell? How'd you get in here? My headset ain't plugged in. Oh. Alright, let's stop this stream and start the battle.